All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, Universal Mastery. Absolutely glad to have you here. Okay, so in our today's video, we are going to be speaking about something that is so monumental and so important. Literally, one of the most important things that I actually can talk about that is so transformative, but you have to really understand it and you have to apply it. And it's not something that you're going to be perfect with. It is something that is absolutely going to take time, but I 100% believe that you can do it. And that as you commit to yourself and you commit to the process, you can experience some drastic changes in your everyday life. So what we're going to be speaking about in today's video is the importance of literally becoming the person that you've always needed in your life. And the need and the necessity to commit to this way of being, to this new type of lifestyle, so that you can basically shed the old you and show your system that you are stepping into a whole new you, which comes with a whole new life experience, comes with a whole new energetic resonance, and is going to build the trust within your system between all of your different parts. There's a big mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to healing trauma, when it comes to doing shadow work, when it comes to spiritual practices of any sort. And it's the reality that people will get some results. They might process a deep emotional wound. They might have a deep release. They might start exerting boundaries for themselves for the first time in a long time. They might have success in one of these spiritual types of practices that they're doing. And then they think, okay, I've done this, I've achieved this, it's happening. And then they get kind of warped back into old patterns, or they get warped back into belief systems and identity attachments that are just not healthy. Substance abuse, unhealthy relationships, different forms of unhealthy coping and distracting. And look, we're not perfect. We're human beings. We're not going to ever be perfect. We're going to make these mistakes. There's going to be times where we have our unhealthy coping and we kind of cycle in those things for a period of time until we realize we want to address it. This is what it means to be human. But at the same time, there is a process of what it looks like to build a relationship with all of your parts and to get your parts to trust you as the person that you've always needed to be. The person that you've always needed to be and that you've always needed in your life, and you get to become that person. So this is what happens. Once again, a lot of people, we're gonna pause there. If this is something that you are interested in, we'll save the rest of the juicy stuff for the rest of the video. If this is something you're interested in, stay tuned for the rest of the video. I'll see you there. Okay, so here we go. So once again, this is what happens. So many people are unaware that in order to really step into a new way of being, a new reality and a new life, it really does require you to be the person that is that type of resonance, that is that new way of being. That new reality that you're capable of experiencing, that new way of being that you want to commit to. You have to actually commit to it and you have to actually become it, and that becomes your daily practice every single day. Now, inherently, this is not going to be comfortable because it's going to require you to step into the unknown to a very deep degree. And there are going to be a lot of parts of you that are going to be a little bit confused or are going to be a little bit unsure about this new you that you're committing to. And they may want to grab onto different forms of control that resort to you going back into old cycles or back into old patterns or back into old beliefs and attachments. So it's important to know that this is natural and this happens to everyone, but the people that actually get to move into the new reality and get to experience life in a completely different type of way are the people that actually commit to themselves being that new person, living with a whole new foundation, addressing daily life and the inner system as a sacred process that requires consistency, that requires love, that requires connection, that requires feeling sensations and feeling emotions. So there's a very big difference from someone who's wanting to change and wanting to shift and is taking little steps and is doing it and then is falling back into old patterns and getting warped back into the trauma vortex. And once again, we're human beings. This is going to naturally happen, but there's a difference from when you keep doing that over and over and over and over and over to the person who eventually learns, lets go, goes into the unknown, and then commits and comes out on the other side. So the reason why that this is so important is because in regards to your parts, all the different parts of you that are inside of your system right now, these parts of you have to trust you as the leader of your system. They have to trust that you know what it is that you're doing and that you are able to be a healthy parent to all of them. Because most of your parts have been blending with you unconsciously, meaning they are overriding your nervous system at different points throughout your day or different points throughout your life. And they are assuming your identity because they think that they need to. So you can have vulnerable parts of you that blend and then they make you feel like you're not worthy, you're not worth anything, you're not able to be loved, your life is always going to be depressing. Then you can have protective parts that blend with you and you always feel like you got to be protecting yourself in situations where you don't even need to. You always have to be on alert. You have to behave this way and not show any vulnerability, because if you show vulnerability, then that means you're not safe, right? So we have all of these different parts that take on all these different roles, and the sad reality is that these parts of us are parts of our wounded inner child. So it's like we have a bunch of wounded inner children inside of our system that a lot of them are taking on parental roles within our system, and they are blending with us unconsciously, which means we're not aware that they're doing it, and we're just acting out, and we're wondering why our lives are going to shit. It's because we have a bunch of inner 4-year-olds running our life as parents, and they think they have to do that to keep us safe. So it requires us to, once again, to work on our foundation. Feeling sensations, connecting to emotions, addressing unhealthy coping mechanisms, creating as much safety as we can. Not safety in the sense of like, I don't take any risks. Safety in the sense of like, let's create safety for the nervous system. Let's connect with nature more. Let's connect with people and have relationships with people that nurture us, that can hold space for all of us, not people who try to attack us and say that you can't be that or you shouldn't be that, that judge us and shame us. This is what creating safety looks like. Stepping away from things we know is not working for us anymore or working with us anymore. Moving into new things that feel better, that nourish us at that deeper level. And when we create that foundation and we honor these things, we are communicating to our parts of us that we are becoming a leader for our inner system that we've always needed and we always knew we could be. So this allows the parts to start relaxing more. It gives them room to start unburdening the emotional, physical, mental, spiritual trauma that they carry on to. And then this gives us more room to be more of who we actually are at the core of our beingness amongst all of our parts. So the reason why it's so important to commit to yourself and commit to the process is because when we're doing this, we're building that relationship with our parts. Our parts are watching us in our own system, and they're like, okay, you say that you're not going to abandon me. You say that I don't need to be active in your system and protect you in the ways that I usually do. So, all right, I'm going to step to the side and I'm going to see if you are going to walk that walk. I'm going to see if you're really not going to abandon me. Or I'm going to see if you're going to be able to defend yourself from a core space or protect yourself from a core space. Are you going to feel the emotions that I bring to you when it's necessary? And are you going to handle it? So our parts literally do that in our own system with ourself. And every time we cycle back into these old habits, into these old patterns, into these old unhealthy relationships, we're sending subtle signals to our parts saying, sorry, I'm still abandoning you. Sorry, I just betrayed you. I know you went through that when we were 4 years old, when mom and dad separated and then you started getting physically abused, but I'm betraying you now. You know, I'm sorry I'm doing this, but I'm betraying you. You know, I'm abandoning you today. Today, I'm not going to be with you at all. Or, you know, I'm not going to feel my emotions at all. So I'm not going to, you know, when someone crosses my boundary and I feel angry and I want to stand up for myself, I don't like that emotion. I don't like the uncomfort of that tension. So sorry, I'm not going to protect myself in that way. You need to stay down. You know, this is sending these subtle signals to our parts that they can't trust us. And it takes time to rebuild their trust. It takes time to show our system that we are that leader that we know we can be and that we know we are. And once again, no one's perfect with this. Trust me. There's going to be times where you still abandon and you still betray certain parts of you, you know, and oftentimes unconsciously. So no one's perfect. Don't feel like you have to be perfect with it. Your parts understand that you're also not perfect, but there comes a point where we actually do become conscious enough. And when we do certain forms of abandoning or self-betrayal, it's very conscious. It's a conscious decision. Like, I know I'm doing this. I know I'm abandoning these parts of me. I can feel it in my system. Like, this is not what my body wants, but I'm doing it anyways. And that's where it becomes our responsibility to recognize, if you want to be the person you're here to be, if you want to live in accordance to your core values and live out your purpose, you have to commit to this, because your purpose starts internally first. It starts with this commitment. And that's what's going to allow you to become, there goes the birds, right as I said that, that's what's going to allow you to become the person that you are here and that you are meant to be. And once again, it starts with you embodying it and committing to yourself and learning to love yourself and take those baby steps on a daily basis that you know your body is asking for, that you know your parts need. So let me give you an example. As you're going through your process, I'll give you an example from my own personal life. So as I'm becoming more aware of my inner system and what my parts need from me in order to trust me more, you know, what that looks like is giving myself multiple times, and this is for where I'm at now. Okay, this may change later down the road, but for where I'm at now, my parts require me to spend at least an hour to 2 hours every day connecting with them in my own space. So the way that works for me is I will go for a walk every single day with no phone and no headphones, and it will be at least an hour to 2 hours. So sometimes I will do this in 2 walks or even up to 3 walks a day, where I'm just in tune with my body, I'm connecting with my sensations, I'm connecting with my emotions, and I'm observing my parts as they're showing up, as they do. And I'm just connecting to my core through that process. And this shows my parts that I'm taking them seriously, and that I'm treating them literally as inner children, as if I'm a father and I'm going for a walk with my kid. And this is showing my kid that I love my kid and that I'm with them and I want to get to know them, right? So I'm doing that same thing with that same idea, but I'm doing it with my internal family system instead. And this is just an example of where I'm at now and what my parts ask of me. Now, this doesn't mean it's always like that. There's certain times where they don't necessarily require me to do that. Like maybe I want to go to Miami, or maybe I want to go do something else, and I feel like in my system, my parts are on board with it. So I feel like that would be a fun adventure and we can all go into that. And I can be connected to my core and bring my parts with me to this experience. But then there might be a time where I want to go to Miami and then I have certain parts that are like, no, we don't want to go at all. We don't have any capacity. I'm exhausted. And if I'm going to honor my system, then I have to listen to that part and understand where that part's coming from and connect with it so that I can nurture it, so that that part doesn't have to feel so bogged down or so tired, so that when I do want to make decisions as the leader of my system, we can be more on board as a whole system, all parts aligned, and go and accomplish what we want to accomplish or go experience what we want to experience. But it takes time to build that relationship. So how many people would just go to Miami even though parts of them don't want to do that? And that would be a form of abandoning a part of you or betraying a part of you rather than just checking in and saying, hey, what's the reason why you don't want to go? Hey, what am I feeling? What's going on here? I'm exhausted. I'm tired. We didn't get much sleep last night. Let's just take it easy today. And then maybe we can go tomorrow. Okay, you know what? I decide that sounds okay. That sounds good. I can understand that. So I'm going to take it easier today. I'm going to nurture myself today. I'm going to spend time connecting with that part. And then tomorrow we're going to go to Miami. We're going to have fun. And I'm going to feel better about it because I know I'm in tune with my system and my parts are on board with what it is that I'm doing. This is the power of being in tune with your system. Okay, and it takes time for you to build these relationships because most likely for the past 10, 20, 30 years, even longer potentially, you've been out of touch with your parts and your parts very significantly probably do not trust you. And when they don't trust you, you're going to be experiencing all kinds of dysregulation and all kinds of discord in the world around you. Things are not going to work out for you. You're going to be hitting plateaus. It's going to feel like you're at a brick wall. You don't know what to do about it because you're not in tune with your system and your parts don't trust you. And then they're taking on roles for you, blending with you. So you're wearing a mask because you're wearing the mask of your parts that's assuming your identity because it doesn't know any better. And now this wounded child part of you is running your life out of a fear, not necessarily out of a fear, but trying to protect a vulnerable part of you. So the way that that's going to look for the person is you're always running away from your deeper feelings and sensations because a part of you is blending with you, thinking it's what it needs to do to keep you safe. And that's going to prevent you from healing the emotional wound. It's going to prevent you from healing that core trauma because that vulnerable part of you that's been exiled needs your attention in order for you to heal and then relieve or unburden those protective parts of you. It creates a whole lot of chaos when we don't understand our inner system. And it's also because these vulnerable parts of us that are carrying that pain, they will find ways to bring that pain to us through what we're in resonance with and what we're manifesting to allow us to get back in touch with them. So not only do we have then protective parts of us that are blending with us, but then the vulnerable ones are manifesting through the unconscious realm negative experiences to bring us back to the emotional, sensational memory state of where they are in the past and the pain that they're carrying. This is why some people can experience a sensation of feeling like they're living in hell on earth. And it feels like they're stuck in some sort of like hell realm or hell dimension or some sort of trap that they don't know how to get out of. And it's not because they said something wrong or they did something wrong or they have the wrong spirituality. It's because you have trauma in your system and parts of you that don't trust you. And because of that, you're experiencing this whirlwind of pain which is what I call a trauma vortex. And in order to get out of that trauma vortex and come into a nature vortex, we have to realize that we have parts of us. And we have to realize we have to feel sensations and emotions again. And we have to realize we have to create a foundation in our life that supports a healthy lifestyle to be the leader or the parent of our system that we never had but always needed. This is literally the formula. And if any of you are struggling with this and need support, don't be afraid to seek it. Okay, I am here as support for a lot of people from all over the world, and I would be honored to be able to support you through this process in the mentorships that I offer. All of that is in the second link below in the description. If you're looking for that support, seek it. Okay? But with that being said, this is the essence of the message that I wanted to communicate. You have to build the trust from your parts and commit to this new you. Commit to the you that you've always actually been before all the layers of trauma. And then you get to move forward in a completely different way, and your life gets to drastically shift. But it takes time. You're not going to be perfect with it. There's going to be many times where you cycle back into the trauma vortex until you learn every time you go in, you have a new pathway to come out and a new way to commit to moving in a different direction. And I promise you, I am a testament of this process, and I am not perfect by any means. There's still a lot of stuff that I'm learning how to commit to, and I'm learning how to honor within my own system at those deeper layers. But I have drastically changed and shifted my relationship with myself, my understanding of myself, and my life experience in many ways by honoring the process that it is that I'm teaching to you right now. So it really is important, it is really powerful, and it's worth doing. All right, so with that being said, if you got value, slam the thumbs up button. Drop down into the comment section and let me know specifically what you learned from this. I would love to hear your perspective. Okay, let me know if you are able to commit to yourself and build a relationship with your parts. And also let me know if your parts trust you or do they not trust you. Now also hit the notification bell and get notified whenever I post, because I'm posting every single day. This is intuitive-based content, which means it's coming out at the exact time it needs to for you to tune in and learn something new. So definitely hit the notification bell, get notified whenever I'm posting. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, because by subscribing, you're further energetically connecting to everything it is that I'm teaching. So also make sure you tap into that. Now, if you know someone that really needed to hear this, I highly encourage you to copy and paste this link. Send it to that person. Maybe this is something they really needed to hear. This could potentially be life transforming for some people. All right. Now I'm going to take your awareness to the most important link within the entire description itself. It is the first link below. This is my Patreon. Now on my Patreon, I have an entire vault of exclusive content. None of this content is on my public YouTube channel. This is primarily for the people that are invested at that deeper level on the Patreon, and it is very different than what you're getting on my YouTube channel. I have different collection sections that are organized from start to finish fashion, covering deeper layers of spirituality and the occult, as well as education on trauma, regulating your nervous system, and creating a foundation to better work through this trauma. Okay, everything that we spoke about in today's video, that type of stuff. There's about 1,600 active members on the Patreon right now, which is only continuously growing and thriving. And that's for a reason. Now, if you can't invest any money into it as of right now, which I encourage you to do once you can even sign up for free. Okay, you're not really going to gain access to all the exclusive content, but you can at least join on the other side and see what's going on there. So I would encourage you to check it out for free. Okay? Now, tier number 3 and 4 of the Patreon is extremely unique. This is what is called the Universe B Ritual Service. And this is a ritual that I perform on the 29th of every single month. And what it is it is an energetic transfer from me to you to support you through some of the deeper layers of working with your unconscious mind. So what it does is it initiates you into what I call Universe B, which is a shadow dimension that every single one of us is connected to, but a lot of us have a hard time accessing it. So just like we, oftentimes we use psychedelics to gain more access to certain portions of our unconscious mind, this is something that is very similar, except it's happening through energetic ritual and transfer from me to you, because I am a professional occultist. All right? So as you start to work with this deeper layer of the unconscious, as the ritual supports the process, it's going to help to bring that trauma to the surface to be felt and processed at that emotional level. It's going to help you understand and become more aware of your different parts, and it will support you in building a healthier foundation to nurture your inner system. As that's happening, you're going to start grounding more into your authentic self. Your resonance is going to start changing. You can expect the world around you to start shifting because of that inner shift. And then through time, you're going to notice the unconscious realm of your own reality starts working with you rather than giving you unnecessary resistance. But it is going to take time, and it's going to be a commitment that you need to have with yourself. But this ritual absolutely supports the process. There have been a lot of people that have taken advantage of it that have given me very positive feedback on the energetic shifts that have taken place in their life after receiving the ritual. And it's quite mind-blowing to hear some of these different forms of feedback that people give me. All right, so if this is something that you are interested in, take advantage of it. First link below, right there. You can't miss it. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Second link, this is where you can book a one-on-one call with me, or you can jump into mentorships. Once again, I mentioned it in the video today, this is the most intimate way to personally work with me, and I'm here to support you through that process. I work with people from all over the world right now. I have a completely full schedule, but if you book with me, I will find a way to get you in, and if for some reason there is no room, then you will be the next person in line for when I start working. Okay, so that's second link below. Now in the same second link, you can book a tarot card reading with Alexia. She is a very gifted tarot card reader that can help you understand your inner process and then what's happening in the world around you, and then what to expect as you move into the near future. There are people that have given me feedback from the readings that she's done for them that have said things along the lines of, this was the best tarot card reading that I have ever received in my life. So if that's something you're interested in, look into it. Second link below as well. Fourth link, this is the YouTube memberships, and I would be honored to have you a part of it. This is the family. If you want to join the Universal Mastery family, I would be more than happy to have you a part of it. That's exactly what we are. We are a group of like-minded individuals that come together to support each other through these deeper layers of working with our trauma and working with the shadow, to, bounce ideas off of, to just connect in a general way, as friends, and, to have a place where you can feel safe. All right, so I would love to have you there. It's also nice to see you in the, when I do the live streams, and I can see the YouTube members with the green names and the little badges and things like that. Okay, now you're also going to get access to some early content releases as well as some exclusive content as well. All that in the fourth link. Final link, this is some book recommendations that I have for you for those of you that are into the deeper understandings of spirituality and the occult. These books can be very fundamental and valuable for your process. So with that being said, this is going to wrap it up. I appreciate all of you very, very, very much, and I hope you all have an amazing rest of the day or night, wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.